So all pumped up. Pumped up ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, all highly motivated. IAS ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. Good. So yesterday I was in ಬೇಲೂರು. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಬೇಲೂರಿಂದ? ಚಿಕ್ಕಮಗಳೂರು, ಹಾಸನ್. Good. So I was in ಬೇಲೂರು and we have Channakeshwar temple in ಬೇಲೂರು. You know that, right? So it's an architectural marvel. Is it a UNESCO heritage site? Yes? Okay. So I was looking around the temple, relishing the aesthetic architecture, and many people happened to recognize me, that you are insights, Vinay sir. Two of them came and talked to me and told that, sir, we are your old students. So we used to prepare at Insights IAS in the 2016 and 17. So we had a small center then. So then I asked naturally, so what are you doing currently? So they said, we are class 1 officers, AC SAD, Assistant Controller, State Accounts Department. So it's a KPSC examination, so Group 1 Class A examination. So then I said, what about your age limit? They said, we are still 30, 31, and they have still attempts. So what happened to your UPSC dream? Right? So you wanted to become an IAS officer. Now very good that you have become AC SAD. And I think they got promotion also now. So they said, which I keep hearing all the time, that in between they lost the motivation. And they lost the motivation because it's a class 1 job, equivalent to IAS in a sense that salary is same. But when you lose motivation, what happens? You settle down and you will be very happy with what you currently have. And then what happens? You continue in the job. And I'm not sure about if there is any, regret or guilt that I was not able to continue with the UPSC preparation. So then in hindsight, what I think, so what if they had spent 2 more years? Anyway, they cracked KPSC examination. And now what if they had spent 2 more years either continuing in the job with the same discipline they had prior to getting the job, or by taking risk, maybe quitting the job. So the chances would have been high that they would have cracked UPSC examination. If you have the ability to crack KPSC, if you add further depth to your preparation, so it's highly probable that they would have cracked UPSC also and might have got Audit and Account Service or IRS, maybe IAS also. So now, even after 30 years in the current service, it's highly unlikely that they are going to become IAS or IPS or even IRS officers. Am I right or wrong? It's very difficult. So similarly, there are many students who have got into PSI jobs. They were preparing for UPSC examination, and then maybe family circumstances, some compulsions, you have that urgency that you want to get into some job. So after getting into PSI, I think it takes 20 to 25 years to get promoted as an IPS officer. The same people, if they had spent another 3-4 years, right? So the chances were very high that they would have got into any central service or maybe IPS. I'm sure you have figured out, why I'm starting with this particular, call it anecdote or incident. So I'm in this field for more than 12 years now as a founder of this institution and also as a mentor, and Economic Times was very kind enough to, you know, identify me as one of the 6 superstar educators in India. I'm not sure if I deserve it. One of the 6 superstar educators in India. So it was in 24 September 5th on Teachers Day. So All India edition they published. So now as a mentor and as an educator and as somebody who has built this institution, I have this attitude of directly interacting with the student from day one to till today. So in my lakhs of interactions, so what I've learned, I keep sharing that knowledge, sharing that insights, sharing that wisdom with wherever I go with all the students. Doesn't matter whether preparing for UPSC or not preparing for the UPSC. Now all of you sitting in this hall, right, have taken a very big, bold first step in your life, coming out of your comfort zone, right? All of you have come out of your comfort zone. Some of you convinced your parents, right, that IAS is your dream and big goal. Some of you had this dream during school days that you wanted to become a civil servant, mostly IAS, some tall fellows, IPS, right? Children of police officials, mostly, IPS, and very few Indian Foreign Service. Anyone here, Indian Foreign Service? One? No one else? Only one. Good. So this is the story. In all the orientations, there is hardly 1 or 2 people, who wants to become diplomat. Somebody who can build relationship with other countries, bridge relationship or repair relationship with other countries. So most of you want to settle within the country, right? And again, within that, most of you want to settle within Karnataka if possible. And within that, if your own district would be even better. So you have taken your first step, right? So how was it? I mean, what was the thought process? Coming to Bangalore, searching for PG, looking around, many PGs, and then finally settling with a PG that is comfortable also, nearest to the institution, right? And also, I'm not sure about, did you check with food or did you taste food and decide or no? Directly, you took the feedback and then you decided. So for boys, PG is the last option. Mostly you want to stay in room, with 2 or 3 people together, right? So this is process, right? So that day when you came here and struggled a bit to find good PG and went around the local area buying stuff for your room and your PG for yourself. It is all process. Process towards what? This is something new some of you have done for the first time in your lives, right? So those who didn't go to hostels, those who didn't live in hostel. So I am a Navodaya school student, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya student myself. So I spent 7 years in the hostel. You leave me anywhere in any part of the world, I can survive. I can actually succeed also, right? Not just surviving. So it is all process. When I say it is a process, when I say it's a process and something new process, already some change has taken place within you. A small change has taken place within you, in your personality. Right? Am I right? It can be positive or it can be negative. Right? Maybe some of you might be demotivated. Right? Small self-doubt might have already creeped into your mind, looking at all the people around here, looking very studious people in the library, right? People who are already writing answers. And also, you might have tried to understand the nature of competition here, right? A little bit, looking at syllabus. And the most important event that has taken place in your lives is that for the first time in your lives, you have started reading newspapers. Right? Am I right or wrong? For the first time, in your life, say in your lives, the two English newspapers, such a serious newspaper, the Hindu, right? So I'm not sure, like if maybe there are some of you who are still waiting, for today to get over and then start reading the newspaper. Yararu edara punyatmuru? No one? Good. So that is also something new, right? So you wanted to do till now and somehow you have started doing, you are already in action mode, right? So till now the dream was in your head to become IAS, to become IPS, whatever. So it was in your mind and now it is getting manifested in the sense in the real world. You have come out of your comfort zone, right? You have already started acting upon your dream, that is becoming an IAS officer. So it is at a very nascent stage. Nascent stage is a very initial stage. It hasn't even actually started. Now, when I said that as a mentor and educator, as a founder of this institution, I have interacted with lakhs of aspirants. I mean it, lakhs of, not thousands. And I have evaluated lakhs of essays directly sitting in front of the students. I have seen tremendous transformation in personalities of many people in a very positive way. And I have also seen, and I have also not seen, that many people came to Bangalore. Even after coming to Bangalore and staying for 2 to 4 years, or some people 4 to 5 years in Bangalore, they always remained the same, the way they used to be before coming to Bangalore. Even after coming to Bangalore with all the big dream, in their habits, in their behavior, in their actions, in their attitude, in their thoughts, in their intelligence, in their skills, maybe knowledge might have improved a bit, but majority remained the same, and somehow it went downhill also for some of them, right? Now it is intriguing. What is the meaning of intriguing? Intriguing andra? It's kind of a what? Puzzle, right? It's kind of a puzzle that you had this dream to become an IAS officer and you came to Bangalore, and then the way you used to behave during your college days and school days, you continue to be the same individual here. So whereas some people who eventually understand the nature of this competition, ultimately to succeed in this examination, the secret is to understand the actual, real, true nature of the competition. And when we say competition, it is not just within Insights or in Chandra Layout, right? It is a pan-India competition. You people sitting in this classroom, you are going to compete with nearly 1 million aspirants spread across India, and some of them in Bhutan and Nepal, they are also allowed to write this examination. So you are going to compete with aspirants across India, and look at the diversity of aspirants. So for 2 minutes I will scare you, right? With whom you are going to compete? You are going to compete with nearly, maybe, I am not sure about the numbers, nearly 500 to 600 IPS officers in every attempt, right? You are going to compete with 500 to 600. I am not sure about this number because every year we have 200 IPS. Nearly 60-70% of them again write this examination. So now the previous IPS and again previous IPS, I am just taking, maybe after 2 attempts they will give up. So that is why I am saying around 500 to 600 IPS. So these many IPS officers, when you write your attempt, either in 26 or 27, they are also competing for the 180 IAS posts. You're getting my point? Secondly, maybe 1,000 odd IRS officers, IRS income tax, IRS customs, they are also your competitors. Nearly 3,000 people who are already in central services, other services, railways, audit and account. Getting scared? All other services, they are also your competitors. And then add to that, maybe another, see these numbers, the thousands number I am giving from the perspective of mains. When you clear prelims and when you are writing mains. This year, 14,500 people wrote mains. 14,500 people wrote mains among them. So maybe another 3,000-4,000 or 2,000-3,000 people who are already in various services. State services, CAPF, bank services, right? They have already cracked some examination, they are already into services, and majority of them will give up. So don't be scared. After one try, maybe maximum 2 attempts, when they cannot crack, they usually give up. Now, around 95 people, I think, IPS officers had written mains before last year. I heard that only 5 of them got converted into IAS. So when I say 400 to 500, don't be scared that everyone is going to get IAS. Now the reason is that every year has become a completely new cycle in this UPSC examination. Doesn't matter how brilliant you were, which service you are already in, you might have cracked many examinations, but the examination cycle which actually begins immediately after the announcement of the result, right? So it's a 1 year cycle. So this entire 1 year cycle is a new cycle. So what do we mean by a new cycle? Anybody who has invested their time, their energy, their focus, everything under right guidance, thoroughly getting updated that year, trying to bring some fresh perspective, originality, new ideas, irrespective of whether they are 21-year-old or 22-year-old, just passed out of the college, or 32-year-old who has already spent 10 years, right? They have the highest maximum chance of cracking this examination. In a way, the way examination is evolving post 2013, and there are 2 stages post 2013. So before 2013 we had old pattern where we had 2 optional subjects, and before 2011 we had optional subject in preliminary examination also. Are you aware of this? Now in prelims what do we have? We have GS paper and we have CSAT. So there was no CSAT paper in 2000 before 2011. So there was optional paper. So you could choose, let's say, geography in prelims and also 2 more optionals, Kannada and history or Kannada sociology in mains, or geography or Kannada in mains. So that was the pattern. They changed it in 2011 and introduced CSAT. And then in 2013, earlier there used to be only 2 GS papers and 2 optional papers and 1 essay paper. So they changed the pattern post 2013 and then they introduced 4 GS papers, 1 essay paper, and within 1 essay paper you have to write how many essays? 2 essays. For how many words? 1,200 words each essay. So this year, earlier they used to give 14 sides to write 1 essay, right? 14 sides doesn't mean you have to fill 14 sides. So if you're writing, let us say 80 to 90 words in 1 side, right, then you may take 14 sides. So this year they give 16 sides. So what people do here in this competition, they think that when UPSC has given 2 extra sides, then we have to fill those spaces, even exceeding the word limit. So that is the most stupid thing to do in this examination. You become irrational in the examination hall. You have this fear and herd mentality. So more space, fill more content. So now forget about it. So it introduced one extra essay paper and 2 essays, and then one optional 2 papers. 2013 to 2018 around, still a small mentality that existed before 2013. The mentality is here, the questions were very predictable. Before 2013, you could actually prepare 90% of the optional beforehand. You knew the question paper before going to mains. You could actually predict. And in mains, the questions were very predictable. They would say, give artificial intelligence, write 100 words, 20 marks. Just 2 words. And they would say, okay, vibe coding. You know vibe coding? How many of you have heard about vibe coding? VIBE CODING. Computer science ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Raise your hands. Computer science 1, 2, 3. Information science 1, 2. AIML ಇಲ್ಲ? Okay. ವೈಬ್ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ. ವೈಬ್ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ using your creativity, you are making AI code. You are not writing the code, right? You are prompting AI to code, but vibe coding is something that you do it creatively, right? You give the entire your expectation, and then the AI codes. So the questions were, they would give vibe coding, and then they ask you to write some 50 words or 100 words. So it was predictable. You prepare some 20 SNT such concepts. Out of them 5 would definitely appear in the examination. So 2013 to 19, the same element was there in a way that questions were still predictable, both in prelims and both in mains. But post 2019, when the UPSC started noticing that people were scoring extraordinarily high in optional subject. So they were scoring 360 through 370 in optional, and even in GS. So the topper score would go around 1000 in mains examination. Out of 1000, 750. Then they started noticing that it has become predictable. People are memorizing. The coaching institutions are giving them handouts, notes, and everyone memorizing, right? And then repeating the same stuff. So then the exam became more dynamic post from 2019, both in optional and in all the GS paper. And then they started introducing philosophical topics in the essay paper, right? So in 2017-18 they started with 2-3 topics, and then they started giving 4-5 topics, and then 5-6 topics. This year all 8 topics are philosophical topics in the essay paper. Have you checked essay paper this year? All 8 topics are philosophical. So in between 22-23 they experimented within philosophical topics by bringing 2 disciplines together in a more abstract or philosophical way. For example, desertification precedes civilization or something, right? So you have geography, you have history. Forests are the best case studies of economic excellence. Music, maths is the pure music of reason or something. So they are not directly asking questions related to global issues, the subjects which we deal with, like climate change, artificial intelligence, computers, right? Women empowerment. But indirectly they started bringing 2 topics, and then again students started writing those topics by preparing for the subjects. So then what happened? This year they have introduced more abstract, all philosophical topics. So in GS papers also, if you see, most of the questions are dynamic in nature. They actually require you to apply knowledge plus skills, also your intelligence in that very moment. You cannot actually predict the question, any question. You have to go. In every paper there are 3-4 questions which you might have already prepared, static questions. But most of the questions require you to thoroughly read that year's newspapers. One, the Hindu, maybe another, the Indian Express. My humble request, my personal suggestion is that add another business daily to it, like Live Mint, Economic Times, right? It's too much to do, right? The Hindu itself is not getting digested, I know. But if you want to beat the best in the competition, if you really want to crack this examination within next 3 years, right, you have to you have to build a very strong foundation of general awareness, a very strong foundation of general awareness cutting across all the disciplines, environment, economy, geography, science and technology, all polity related news, right, art and culture, disaster management, security issues, geopolitics, whatever that is there in the syllabus, all the social issues. So most of the knowledge you actually gain, the current knowledge, right? The current knowledge and updated knowledge is actually gained by thoroughly reading newspapers. Now when I said every year examination is a new cycle, because the exam is so dynamic, right? Last year notes, they will only act as a base material, right? Whatever notes you have gained. For example, all the OGP notes this year you are going to make in the classroom. And all our faculties are going to update those notes this year, right? With all the concepts, with every PYQ concept and question being covered, they are going to give you comprehensive notes. They are the original notes. They are not available outside this institution for all of you. So that is where we don't believe in giving you a uniform content, ready-made material, right? We give you PYQs. We have 2 volumes and comprehensively covers last 31 years of prelims question papers. But we are not going to give you ready-made material where we will say that you read, art and culture, history from here, and you are going to get questions and you can answer, every question based on this content. That is, the era is totally gone. UPSC has destroyed. So whatever notes you get, you have to every day update it, right? Whatever, like let us say Manjunath sir completes Indian polity. Manjunath sir, Nikhil sir, Shashank. There are 3 people who are going to cover Indian polity. So when they completely cover Indian polity, your task is to update each and every topic, because paper 2 and paper 3 are highly dynamic. Mains GS2 and GS3. Mains GS2, what do we have? Broadly we have. So we have like constitution, governance, social justice, international relations, right? Broadly. Similarly, paper 3 we have Indian economy, agriculture, environment, science and technology, security issues and disaster management. So all these topics are highly dynamic in the sense that you have to keep updating your knowledge base, not just your notes, your understanding. There may be like for example, science and tech, vibe coding I said. So every year a new concept is being added. So we have computers in the syllabus. Paper 3 we have computers, robotics, right? Nanotechnology, space. So when it comes to space and computers, you see almost every day a new concept is getting added to the vocabulary of computer science. So you have to be thoroughly updated, right? The one who invests their time first in understanding all basic concepts, reinforcing those concepts, and then those who apply those concepts on a regular basis by solving prelims cum mains PYQs, and the one who updates that knowledge, right, has the highest chance of cracking this examination within 2 attempts. Anybody who still relies on old material, whether for optional or whether for GS, let us say previous year OGP students. So they think that we have got all the notes, right? Keep reading the same notes, keep reading same Lakshmikant. It is not going to help you in the today's competition, present competition. So now to do this, you cannot remain same as you used to be in the your engineering days, college days, where you never updated anything, right? Where you never studied straight for 4 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours on a daily basis, right? Now this examination demands a drastic transformation in your personality and attitude. If that is not happening, all the fees you have paid, all the time you are going to invest is not going to help you crack UPSC examination. But at Insights IAS, we are very confident, very certain, the knowledge you are going to gain here will definitely ensure one government job. It can be village accountant, it can be PSI, PDO, FDA, SDA, because almost every student who has passed out, who has completed the course, right, who stayed here, wrote all our test series, if they didn't pass UPSC or if they didn't get UPSC, almost everyone has got some government job or banking job. Some of them got into NABARD, RBI, CAPF, other UPSC examinations. So that is for sure. But if IAS is your ultimate dream, right? Because if you're sitting in this classroom, that is what your ultimate dream, UPSC, civil services, especially IAS, IPS, right? That is what your ultimate dream. Not merely getting into any government service. So if that is the aim, then the transformation must start from today itself. That is your choice, right? That is your choice, and the choice is within your control, right? Now I cannot impose it on you. Now your parents cannot impose it on you. You have to choose. You have to make that choice, and you have to start becoming that individual who is suitable for the IAS post. And its final test happens in the UPSC when you go to the personality test. When you go to the interview, so that is the pinnacle, the final test. And unfortunately, everyone who is sitting here and everyone who is roaming outside, everyone who is sipping coffee, everyone, I am using the word everyone, who is sitting in the reading room and reading, everyone, again I am using the word everyone, never thinks of the interview stage of this examination. All that is there is making notes, understanding concepts, completing the syllabus, maybe cracking prelims, right? Maybe developing some answer writing skill, writing good essays, doing well in mains. But when it comes to interview, I use the word again everyone. I don't think anyone has this visualization or imagination where they are going to UPSC interview and giving, maybe some of you may be daydreaming about you, but preparation, right? The preparation doesn't take place for the interview. The interview is, again, when I said the entire examination has changed post 2013, again post 2019 or 20, the interview has become the cornerstone of success, this examination. The one you must do well in the interview. If you are scoring less than 180 or even 170, doesn't matter which category, right? 95% you are not going to get top 3 services. I mean top 3 choices. All services are top services. The service of your choice, right? IAS, IPS or Indian Foreign Service. You must get 180 plus at least minimum, and the target should be 200 plus in the interview. So interview is for how many marks? 2? Okay. So out of 275, how much you have to get? How much is the highest one can get? Out of 275, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? 215, correct. 215, 215 marks is the highest. It is given to 2 to 3 individuals every year. Some years even that is not there. 209 is the highest. So 275 marks is the interview, and you can walk out with 215, that is the highest. So any idea for how many minutes the interview goes on? Yes. So for most people it is around 20 minutes, right? So in few cases it is 30 to 40 minutes, but 30 to 40 minutes doesn't mean that you are going to walk out with more marks. There have been cases 40 minutes interview, 120 marks or 150 marks. So around 20 minutes is the average time duration. So they want to conduct a personality test. So in UPSC you see notification personality test, not interview. So now just think about it. You have prepared so much, till that moment, knowledge wise. You have practiced n number of answers, written so many tests, and when the interview is called, all you need to do is go there, sit for 20 minutes in front of how many people? 5. So among 5, one is UPSC member, other 4 are drawn from various fields, can be retired IAS, retired IPS, retired Indian Foreign Service, a defense personnel, a vice chancellor, academician, somebody maybe a writer or a poet, right? So in front of these 5 people you have to, right, not just speak, you have to think and respond, right? So you have to think and respond. You should have some kind of intellectual conversation in front of them. So 20 minutes you can actually walk out with 215 marks, and there is no descriptive syllabus for the interview. The way you have syllabus for GS 1, 2, 3, 4, there is no syllabus for the interview, right? They haven't given prepare for art and culture, right? Nothing. So they have given certain keywords, that is like intellectual integrity, right? And good exposition, right? Critical thinking. So they have given some keywords, but there is no fixed syllabus. What it means is that they can ask any question related to the details you have filled in detailed application form, or anything outside detailed application form. There is no boundary. They try to stay within the boundary if your detailed application form is strong. When I say your detailed application form is strong, the one you fill after preliminary examination. So where you mention all your academic achievements, all your extracurricular hobbies, interests, leadership achievements, roles you played, sports, NCC, NSS, everything, all the details you put, right? So they usually become the starting point for the discussion. Like if your hobby is to blog about artificial intelligence, right? Blogging about artificial intelligence. So then they might start, okay, what do you blog? What was the latest article you wrote? Just to start the conversation. Now, the GS paper 1 is for how many marks? 250 marks. All GS papers are for 250. Essay paper is also for 250 marks. Now, GS3 is also 250 marks. Now, when you have to complete the syllabus of GS3, you have to read, as we discussed earlier, economy, agriculture, environment, and it would consume many hours of your time, right? You have to write so many answers, and irrespective of how well you cover your GS3 syllabus or GS1 syllabus, in 3 hours of time where you write your answers, where you have freedom to think during those 3 hours, write 20 answers. The highest anyone can score in GS3 has been around 100 out of 250 marks. In GS1, again it is somewhere around 95 to 100 last 3 years. Exceptional people, 1 or 2 might have breached that, but large number of, I'm talking about 99% of the toppers who have cracked this examination, the score is around 85 to 95. In paper 2, yes, 100 to 120, many have scored. Right. So now the question is, in 20 minutes, out of 275, you have the freedom, you have the choice to walk out with 215 marks, right? That changes everything in the examination. 200 marks is equal to 300 ranks. 200 marks is equal to 300 ranks in the final rank list, right? So, now my fundamental question is that when this is so obvious that in the UPSC, right? So for 20 minutes when you go to interview, you can actually, walk out with 190 to 215 marks, right? With actually no separate special preparation for the interview, so called I'm talking about. That is what the understanding here in the UPSC examination. No, people don't invest even single hour with respect to interview preparation, right? There is a method to it, there is a process for it. The very process is, as I said, first the transformation of your personality, right? First the self-discipline that you gain, the self-control, right? The inner motivation, right? Your internal motivation. I cannot motivate you again and again. YouTube videos, short-lived, they will not motivate. Self-help books, they are not going to help you at all in this journey. Every day, when you wake up in the morning, it is the internal motivation, right? And you have to be so determined, so strong within you, irrespective of all the distractions around you, irrespective of the circumstances at back home, right? The kind of expectations, the kind of background you may have come up with, from the college and school days, where you didn't have this kind of exposure. You have to drag yourself out of your bed, right? And sit straight for minimum 10 to 12 hours, including the class hours, and then prepare for this examination. And when I say prepare for this examination, you have to be mindful about all three stages of the examination: prelims, mains, and interview. Prelims and mains combined together, they will give you the comprehensive knowledge base, right? Required to articulate your ideas in the interview. The knowledge base is covered. In addition to that, your strong hobbies, right? Your interests, which again 90% of the aspirants lack, right? Thanks to our education system, that you people were snatched of your choice or right to develop certain hobbies and interests during 10th, 11th, 12th standard, and then post your entry into university or college, the same attitude would have continued, focusing more on the academics rather than focusing on extracurriculars. That was waste of time always, right? Participating in any event, inter-college festival. So maybe there are 10% who might have participated, right? I will ask you a few questions, okay? What about your hobbies? How long you have been writing? 4 years. What do you write? It's called journaling. So you write in diary or blog? Notebook. Very good. Sit down. What about you? Any hobby, interest? Playing badminton. Very good. Sit down. Yes, you. Reading books. What kind of books? General knowledge books. Okay, good. Vinay. Playing or watching? Playing. Good. Sit down. Reading? What kind of books? Acha, can you name any one book? Like epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana and all. Sit down. You. Yes. Singing. Very good, very good. Yes. Novels. What kind of novels? Fictional. Okay. Indian or Western? Western. Okay. Good. Read. Reading books. What kind of books? Mahabharata, Ramayana. Okay, good. Yellow shirt. ಯಾರ್ದು ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತದಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಲರ್ನೇ ಎಪ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ನೀನೇ ಡೂ ಯು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಆರ್? ಹೌದಾ, ಗುಡ್ ಗುಡ್. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಪ್ರೇಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋಗ. ಪ್ರೇಮ್ಗೋ ಹೊಂಬಾಳೆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ನರಿಗೆ. ರೈಟ್. ಪರ್ಪಲ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕಲ್ ಡಾನ್ಸ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ಯು, ಬ್ಲೂ. ಎಸ್. ಯು ಸಿಂಗ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಟ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ ಆರ್ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣದಂತೆ? ಟ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್? ನೋ ನೋ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಗುಡ್. ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತದ ರೀಲಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿ, ನಾವು ನೋಡಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಪುಷಸ್ ಇಟ್. And then I heard it from my wife, every minute of the day, open, it keeps coming in different forms. People ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಬೇರೆ ರೀಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಹಾಡಿಂದಲ್ವಾ, ನಂಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು ನಾನು ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲೆ, ಪುಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ತಲೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟೋಗಿದೆ ಅದು. ರೈಟ್, ಹಿಂಗೆ, ಗುಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್. Dancing, classical or free form? Okay, good. Green, yes. Reading novels, English, Kannada, good. Kannada novels ಯಾರು ಓದ್ತಿರೋ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Anyone? Yes. ಯಾವ ನಾವೆಲ್ಸು? ಗುಡ್. ಗುಡ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಗುಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಎಪ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ರೈಟ್, ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳೋ. ನೀನಪ್ಪ? ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಗುಡ್. ನೀನು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ? ಹಾಂ, ಬೇಡ ಅಂತನಾ? ನೀ ಪೇರೆಂಟಾ? ಏನು ಮಗನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದ್ಯಾನ? ಅಮ್ಮ, ನಿಂದು ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಅವರು ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಮೂಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟವ್ರು, ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಇದ್ರು. ಯಾವ ವೈಟ್ ಶರ್ಟ್? ಎಸ್. ಹಾ, ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಓ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಸಿಡಮ್. ಎಸ್. ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಯಾರು ಕಲ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಆಗ್ತೀರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. when the examination nears, almost I see almost everyone, mainly 3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕುಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. 3ನೇದು ವಾಕಿಂಗು, ಜಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗು, ಜಾಗಿಂಗು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸೆಂಡೆಂಟಲ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಹಾರ್ಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ವಿಪಾಸನಾ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಎನಿವೆ meditation is good, but here meditation is therapy in UPSC, not hobby or interest. So you take it as a therapy to deal with the stress which could have been avoided, right? So when I gave my interview in 2011, I had blogging as my hobby, right? So amateur photography, ಅದು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಕೊಡಿಸಿದ್ದ ನನಗೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ದುಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದ ನನಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅವನು. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಟೋ ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, amateur photography. And then reading novels. So I used to read Russian literature, French literature, English literature, Indian authors writing in English, and Kannada literature. I was a student of Kannada literature. Iva Devanur Mahadeva, Vodalala anta book ide. So I would read Kusuma Bale also, and his short stories. Shudra Tapasvi anta ide, Kuvempudu, right, namige. So I would read all Kuvempu novels and also plays. Kuvempu natakanu ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, and he has written novels also. So that I had put, and I was also Panchayat Development Officer. So in the very beginning, the question started with Panchayat Development, and also I was Navodaya school student. So then question started about Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, and then it moved to blogging and the latest article and other things. So it was 300. It was of 300 marks in 2010 civil service examination. 2013 onwards, they introduced 275. It was for 300, and that was my first UPSC interview, and I got 210 marks. That was my very first UPSC interview. But before giving UPSC interview, the actual real UPSC interview, I had given one mock interview in Delhi Kannada Sangha, right? So they used to organize these mock interviews for Karnataka students, Kannada students, and the panel used to be of all Kannada IAS officers serving in Delhi. So the very first mock I gave, I melted within 5 minutes. So that was my first ever any kind of interview. Till then I was locked. During that time there was no website, there was no institution, nothing. Karnataka didn't have anything, right? So we didn't know what interview constituted. So within 5 minutes I melted, in the sense started sweating. I didn't know how to utter, trembling and all. They said, no, you come another day, right? And then organizer, I requested, so sir, I want another mock interview in the very afternoon. And I was confident about my hobbies and everything. But it was a first kind of interaction where I had to speak in front of a very learned, experienced people. That was first such experience in my entire life. So second mock, I went in the afternoon, and then before that, there was a lunch break. I sat in an auditorium that is there in the Delhi Kannada Sangha, and then I told myself, I'm already Panchayat Development Officer, so what is there to lose, right? After all, this is an interaction. Maybe they want to know, they want to explore me. I'll be brutally honest. Whatever I know, I will just share. If I don't know anything, I'll just say, I don't know. So I went, and the same panel, they conducted the mock, and they said, again, you, sorry, okay. I said, so you start, sir. I mean, you ask whatever you want. And it went on for around 30 to 35 minutes. And one of the panelists was Vijay Bhaskar, sir. He went on to become Chief Secretary in Karnataka government. So he said, were you the same individual who came in the beginning, who came in the morning? And he was so surprised and happy that, all the hobbies I was able to justify. He asked about literature, he asked about Panchayat Raj, system, the grassroots, rural problems, everything. So I was able to answer. He said, I think this year you are going to get one of the highest interview scores. And it was such a confidence booster. After that, I didn't give any mocks. I directly went to UPSC, applied the same formula. Just talk whatever you know, without scared of anyone, without afraid of anyone. Whatever you know, just be honest. And it worked wonderfully well, and they liked the panel. The panel was IMG Khan. So he was IMG Khan, sir. So he was the chairman of the board. And in the end, he actually gave a hint. So there was a question about police reforms in the end. It went on for 5 minutes. What do you mean by police reforms? I gave, no, that cannot be implemented. He said, I again answered, no, it is impossible. I said something else. In the end, he actually said, okay, tomorrow when you become IPS officer and when you get promoted, maybe you can implement whatever you said. Your interview is over, you go. So it can be sarcastic also sometimes, but he was not that type of personality. So it was very honest. And when I walked out, I was very confident. But I scored low in geography. So from that year, the geography started getting targeted. Public administration and geography from that year. So I scored low. So by 2 marks, I missed the UPSC rank. But I was able to do well in the interview mainly because of the strong hobbies and interests that I had developed. So I used to blog about anything, everything. The knowledge was there. But I think if I had practiced even well, so I think that year highest was again around 215 or something. Even then the 215 used to be highest. Only one time one got to 225. Right. So 210 was like third or fourth highest marks. It was possible mainly because of the strong hobbies and interests. And if I had got the better practice, maybe I would have scored even more also. Now you must, all of you must, in addition to completing UPSC syllabus, you have to develop hobbies and interest, especially two kind of hobbies and interest. So writing and reading, right? Start writing about anything, whatever comes to your mind, about whatever issue. Writing hobby has huge positive implications for your overall preparation and also your growth as an IAS officer later also, right? Or maybe Indian Foreign Service also. Writing is a creative exercise. You have to sharply develop. You have to develop sharp critical thinking skills, analytical thinking skill by start practicing writing. So in UPSC, everyone knows only one form of writing, that is answer writing. Again, the kind of answer writing people are doing is dumping information. The question has asked something, you know whatever, you just fill the space with the information you know. Mostly it is factual, not analytical. The introduction is a mere fact, right? You will eventually realize what I'm saying when you start writing. Now, most of the UPSC aspirants are scared to write answers, right? I don't know anything, I haven't done this exercise. And when we here at Insights IAS, we encourage and we force you to write essays also from the very first month for your batch also. So it's been a tradition. Many people don't write essays. Very few. In the entire batch, there can be only 4 to 5 people who will write essays and bring for evaluation, that too intermittently, not on a regular basis. So to overcome the fear of answer writing, you have to start writing something. Like she said, journaling. Maybe she may be writing about personal experiences, maybe your observations. Now start writing on both your personal experiences and also about the things you learn, the things you observe, the things you think about, right? So for example, India-Pakistan match happened yesterday. So now there is a debate whether India should have played cricket match with Pakistan or not. You may say yes, you may say no. So you write 100 words, either saying yes or no, but not both yes or no. Yes and no. Right? Choose one side. It can be anything. It is a personal writing. Forget about UPSC, forget about interview, everything. So if you want to really sharpen the critical thinking skill, analytical skill, either you start writing in a diary notebook or in a notebook, or open your own blog. Right? There are free websites available where you can make blog private. Start writing at least 100 to 200 words every day. I mean every day, before going to sleep. Because in that day long, process, from morning waking up to reading newspapers to attending classes, after getting out of class, right? Some social interaction. Again, new news you might have heard, right? Every day some development is there. And then you might have revised, solved PYQs. You gained so much of knowledge during that gap, from morning to till evening before you go to sleep. If possible, write anything, right? Choose any one experience from that day. Maybe a polity class, right? A history lesson, something you read in the newspaper. The one who takes this advice extremely seriously, right? You are going to do exceptionally well in essay paper, ethics paper, in all the introductions you write, in all the GS papers. I'm talking about introductions. And ultimately in the interview also, right? By the time you reach the interview, if you have written something like this every day, right, for next 700 odd days, when you reach the interview, my recommendation is you should give attempt in 2027, right? Your first perfect attempt should be in 2027. At Insights IAS, we will complete almost 90% of the syllabus before end of April, where you can actually go on to crack prelims, provided every day you revise, solve our weekly test, daily exercises. If you do only these two things, attending class, revising, solving every test, you can actually crack prelims in your very first attempt. But the time is not sufficient for you to prepare for optional. Now, if you add optional to your daily routine, you have to sit in the classroom for 9 hours, right? So, after sitting in the classroom for 9 hours, all you have is notes, content, right? You have to fill it into your head, right? You have to internalize, you have to understand, you have to apply, you have to keep practicing. So, ideally, the daily routine should be 60% learning, 40% practice. Ideally, you should get reversed when the examination is just 1 or 2 months away, right? 80% practice, 20% just revision. So when I say practice, it is daily solving MCQs, daily writing answers, right? Only by doing this, when I said write 100 or 200 words on anything, it has implication for, as I said, critical analytical thinking. It will drastically improve your vocabulary, right? And the third most impact is that the kind of perspectives you develop, right? Drushtikona anta helteve. So if everyone is looking at one issue from one perspective, you will develop multiple perspectives on any given issue, right? So in interview, it has tremendous application. So their expectation is some other perspective, but you are giving your own another perspective. But when they again force you, so eventually you can give the expected perspective also. Did you get this point? Did you understand this particular point? Right. So eventually you can address the demand of the question from their expected viewpoint. Right. So developing multiple perspectives is extremely important in this examination. So this kind of writing eventually has the fourth application, the daily answer writing. It removes the fear out of your mind. Right. So you will have the courage to start writing answers. In the beginning, you are asked to write static answers, and then as you move forward, there is one initiative. Website open madapa. How many of you have seen visited our website? Have initiative follow ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So this is the initiative which actually made Srishti Deshmukh IAS officer. She used to visit this website, open this tab, open these answer writing practice things, and she would daily write at least 5 to 6 answers, post in the comment section every day, and they were mutually reviewing. She used to review others' answers, others used to review in the comment section. For example, there are some 12 comments. They won't. It used to be like Srishti Pandey Deshmukh or something in capital letters. She used to have that username here. See, the question is, it is GS1. Plate boundaries are theaters of both catastrophe and creation. How do they simultaneously account for the destructive forces of earthquakes and the constructive potential of volcanic landscapes? So this is about plate tectonics. In geography we will learn. So the earth is not one whole unit, The lithosphere is divided into different tectonic plates. They collide, they separate, right? So the Indian subcontinent plate has collided with, the Asian plate. That is why the Himalayan mountains were born. So eventually we learn in the geography. So at the same time, when they move away, they allow, the magma to come out and become volcanoes or something. So this is something related to geography. Now they have asked question combining two. It is both constructive, destructive. Constructive, you are creating something, right? When volcano happens, a new landscape is created, a plateau or a mountain or something, right? Or new type of soil eventually after millions of years. Now the question has asked that, so one guy has attempted. So he has talked about constructive boundary where plates are moving apart. There is some creation. So destructive where coming together and it is destructive in the sense it is earthquakes, something like that. So whatever it is, your geography teacher will explain better. And these people write answers and post and we review free. And there is another Pankaj Kumar. He may be sitting in UP or Bihar or Delhi. Maverick may be sitting in Nagaland or Jammu Kashmir, we don't know. When you visit the website and check the comments, as you move past the previous days, you will have more number of comments and more number of people writing answers. So you have a pan-India representation of the various types of answers, the various quality of answers, right? So people are writing here. So eventually from static questions, you have to move to dynamic question. This is again a static question. But when you go to paper 2, so extending 6th schedule to Ladakh may set a precedent for other regions demanding special autonomy. Do you agree? Substantiate. So this is about the current affair, right? So he has talked about, he has written. So 6th schedule is mostly about all the tribal regions you put and try to protect tribal interest. So many people have many answers and many presentations. Now eventually from static questions, once you start understanding the Hindu properly, and once you add another newspaper, once you understand our current affairs classes, once your concepts are getting clear, you have to start writing dynamic question, answer to dynamic questions from Secure Initiative. The one who develops a strong habit of writing at least 3 to 4 answers eventually. So your target is 2027, not 2026. So by 26 June or July, everything will be over for you. After that, people take up writing answers. First they want to gain the knowledge and then they want to apply the knowledge. That is a very, again, stupid idea, very bad way of preparing for the examination. It has to be simultaneous. It has to be integrated. What you learn, you practice on the same day. So class, what you are learning, you are going to write answers. The question we are giving you every day. And it is going to be evaluated by your mentors. There are many mentors every day waiting for you to bring your answer and essays. Right? Ours is the only institution where it is institutionalized and very professional, the mentorship. Very long. We have a tradition from, last 12 years. Only recently others may be introducing. We have that very professional approach of evaluating your answers, thereby evaluating you also and guiding you correctly. And we know exactly what kind of essay will fetch you the highest marks. When you bring an essay, myself or maybe Umesh sir, we have exact idea. When I say exact idea, we have exact idea what kind of essay actually brings you the highest marks in this entire competition, right? So similarly for GS 1, 2, 3, even for the ethics paper, right? So we will be telling you, we will be guiding you in that respect, but you have to start developing this habit. Now I know when I am talking about these things, these are extremely difficult things to do on a daily basis, right? Extremely difficult and very, very difficult. For me, it is very easy to, hold mic and, say these things. But there are few people who actually do this, right? There are very few people out of all this class of, there is a full strength here. There are 4 to 5 people who will actually eventually do whatever I am telling them, right? They will start with one answer, but again, not every day. Few days they will write, few days they won't write. Then again they will pick up, they bounce back, they will start writing, then they will add more answers. So it will eventually happen. And it is those candidates, I have seen in the beginning I said tremendous transformation, right? The kind of maturity, the kind of knowledge, the kind of skills, writing from thoroughly useless essay to writing an essay that can that have fetched, not that can, that have fetched highest marks. Last 12 years, at least 1 or 2 students are always there in top 3 brackets, top 3 scores in the essay at Insights IAS, those who have got personal guidance. So they never started with the best essay in the first place. So you should never wait for something to get over to start another thing. Right? This is not that kind of era we are living in. Right? That luxury of time is gone. The way competitions are held today, the way the very nature of competition is, right? I can just label highly competitive. You have to define what is highly competitive, right? So it is so competitive, the one who on the go, through trial and error, right, by falling and rising again, the one who practices, learns on the go has again the advantage in this era of competition. If you wait for, let's say, let polity gets over, and then I will start attempting PYQ polity, or both prelims and mains, you are not in the competition. FDA, SDA, right. Not even KPSC examination, KS also. KS has similar pattern now. Mains, the nature of questions are also more analytical and dynamic, the way it is in UPSC. So to pass KPSC exam, you have to prepare thoroughly the UPSC examination. So on the go. And it's perfectly fine to lose motivation for 1 or 2 days. But what is more important is how you rise back, how you bounce back. Right? See, when you go through this process for next 2 years, the way, you won't be same again. You have maximized your opportunities, you have maximized your chances of succeeding in any chosen field, the field whichever you choose later. Right? You don't have to worry about, not cracking the UPSC examination. So if you have hobbies, the way I told you to prepare, if you prepare the way, similar way, you will see many opportunities opening up for you in various fields. I had blogging as my hobby, very strong hobby. I used to write almost every day 3 to 4 articles. I have deleted everything. They were like very radical articles, when you were the 21 to 28-year-old, right? That too during UPI era, 2005 to 2011, 6 years. That was a time, when we had Naxalism at its peak. We had the rural distress at peak. We had global economic crisis in 2008, the worst after the Great Depression of 1933. So we had, there was a drought and everything, large scale unemployment. So the blood used to boil, and we used to write like the way Bhagat Singh put bomb, like we used to write like that, in my blog. So all extreme articles. But sometimes I used to write poetry, and also the worst form of poetry, right? And at that time people would appreciate that also, right? And then slowly I developed, entered Twitter, started tweeting. So 150,000 odd followers are there in Twitter. So I used to tweet very regularly. So all these exercises eventually gave me the confidence to convert that blog into UPSC website, UPSC Insights IAS, and then come and build the institution. But all the hobbies, the kind of knowledge I had gained from literature, non-fiction books, the writing experiences gave me the confidence to make Bangalore as the UPSC hub today. It's only because of the Insights IAS, the Bangalore has become UPSC. I have saved you at least 5 to 6 lakh rupees per year, right? 5 to 6 lakh, and it is far, far more better than any best institution in Delhi at Insights IAS. I can confidently say about this anywhere, and the kind of result, the kind of satisfaction you people will eventually get, right? You will also acknowledge the same, because from day one there is answer writing, right? The answer you write is going to be evaluated by a mentor without failure, and then weekly test, both prelims and mains test. Whatever you are going to learn, and the mains test is going to be evaluated, and then you are going to get marks. And you can map those marks from first week to the last week. You will see a progression, the progress. Prelims, the confidence. And one thing, anybody who has got a coaching from inside says in OGP, even just merely attending class, even without much practice, revision, if you go and give your first attempt in prelims, the worst marks you can score is somewhere around 70 to 75. In paper one I am talking about. Right? Right. So if you practice, you revise, give all the mock tests we give you, clearing paper one is very easy. And then we have regular CSAT classes, CSAT guidance sessions, and everything is covered within whatever fees we have. I mean, then most of the people have come and asked for discount and everything. That is the minimum you can give to meritoriously crack this examination without bribing any department in future. And next 6 months, you are going to see a deluge of, what is the meaning of deluge? DELUGE, or torrent of. Torrent andre? Okay. Series of notifications. Deluge means suddenly made baruttalla, dhapp anta suritadalla. That's we call as deluge. Torrent andre adene. Suddenly made bandbirtadalva. Hange suddenly you are going to see lots of notifications for government jobs from state government in next 6 to 7 years, because we have solved the decade-long issue of internal reservation in Karnataka. So you will see lots of notifications. Now from this September to next June, July, if you thoroughly prepare the way I told you, mark my words, whenever the notification is out for whichever job, it can be PSI, PDO, KS, whatever, one job is certain for you, right? One job is certain for you. There is no doubt about it. Absolutely, there is no doubt about it, because the amount of knowledge you are going to gain next few months. So you will rise. It is going to be, you will realize it is going to be enormous, overwhelming, overpowering, right? So much. But if you can somehow stay strong, right, withstand all this enormity and just continue to practice and prepare, by next December or something, you would have cracked one examination. But all it requires is a fundamental transformation, right, in your thinking currently. Immediately you cannot change your personality overnight, right? First change the way you think, the way you look at this examination, right? Number one, enjoy every bit of this process, right? When I say this process, including non-academic things, the difficulties you go through, they are preparing for the bigger war later. These are small battles, you face, you overcome. They rewire your brain, right? There is a change within you, will be able to withstand a bigger challenges, bigger difficulties in coming months and years. If you stay away from them, or if you run away from these issues and try to insulate yourself, right, by some kind of excuses or whatever, you are not going to be strong. You will always remain vulnerable and weak, right? You will always remain vulnerable. When that moment comes, when the actually prelims comes, you will feel the anxiety, right? But if you start solving PYQs every day, if you give prelims mocks every week, and if you add more mocks every week, the preliminary examination is never going to scare you, right? You will just walk, you are super confident, you know how to eliminate options, how to not commit mistakes. You would have gone through lots of iterations, right? That process. But not staying away from this test because you were scared of scoring low marks, or excuse that you are not so well prepared, right? Now in this examination I draw an analogy. So she said foreign service officer dancing, right? So when you want to perform on a stage, let us say a very big stage, when you want to give final performance on a stage, what do? How do you prepare? Okay. So then you will go and give your best. And in fact, when you actually rehearse, practice and go, you perform better than your expectation sometimes, on the real stage. Those who have practiced, they will know it. Right? Please sit down. In UPSC examination, majority of the students, what they do, when on the big stage, on the day of big event, they do the rehearsal. Right? They go to the stage and they do the rehearsal and they expect to crack the examination. You getting my point? You will actually realize this is what actually people do. I understand you have got 6 attempts, 9 attempts, unlimited attempts, but that doesn't mean that you just go and rehearse in the actual UPSC examination and walk out. Right? Again, it's your choice. You have to daily practice. She cannot just watch dance video on YouTube and go and perform on the stage. Can she do that? Or read about all the dance forms, dances, and can she perform? Right? She has to put the music on and practice, fall down, ಕಾಲು ಒಳಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮುರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಏನೇನೋ ಇರ್ತವೆ. Right? Overcome the injury and again you have to practice. Right? So this analogy perfectly fits for the UPSC. I'm so shocked. Right? People actually don't practice. You will realize. You will come with the excuse, I have 2 classes. Right? I've made notes in the class, but I don't have time to practice. You actually have time to practice. How many hours we have in a day? Wow, general knowledge question. Right. How many hours you sleep on an average? 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours. Okay. So, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಂಟು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Okay. So, 24 minus 8? 16. Good. 16 hours, right? Yes. How much time it takes to have a breakfast or meal? If you're not watching reels, 15 minutes. If you're not watching or discussing or something, 15-20 minutes. So how many meals you have in a day? 3. Okay. 1 hour, 20 minutes each. How many hours are left? 15 or 14 ಅಲ್ಕ 15 16ರಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂಡಿ ತಿನ್ನೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 15 hours you have, right? ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಬ್ರಷ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ 1 hour. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅದೇನೋ ಕಂಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ ಏನೋ ಇರ್ತದಂತೆ 2-3 ಗಂಟೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ 1 hour. 14 hours ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಮಧ್ಯೆ 2 hours ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಸ್. ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಕಾಫಿ ಫಾರ್ 20 minutes or half an hour, 1.5 hours, another half an hour, just take a nap in the afternoon if you want. Right? You have got 12 hours. 12 hours is safely with you. Right? By taking breaks for 2 hours. Right? By doing, not sacrificing some people sacrifice eating meal and other. Right? You don't have to do that. By having meals. Right? 8 hours sleep. We are not considering 6 hours. We are considering 8 hours sleep, and I recommend 8 hours sleep. Even I do sleep for 8 hours. So 8 hours sleep is must in a way, because lots of processing, lots of learning, right? You need that kind of rest. Basically 10 hours rest. So 12 hours is the minimum you can actually devote every day. So minus 6 hours if you're sitting 6 hours in the class. If you have 6 hours with you to completely focus and prepare. 4 hours is enough to come back, revise both the subject, right? And then read the standard textbooks. And it is not so much in a day, right? You can actually manage. What you listen in 3 hours, you can revise in 1 hour and then read extra for 1 more hour from a standard textbook, and also solve few 5-6 MCQs and all. And then there are extra 2 hours, 1 hour for the current affairs and 1 hour for visiting the website. Compulsorily every day without fail. visit this section, So current affair quiz. So we give around 10 questions on a daily basis drawn from the Hindu and other sources. They are very exactly like UPSC type questions, deep, analytical, sometimes unpredictable questions with more information added than what you have learnt in your reading. So there are 10 questions, and then when you end the quiz, you will have see the solution, why statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect, right? Now every day 10 questions, current affair questions, right? So in a month, excluding Sundays, around how many questions? 250 questions, right? 4 months, 1000 questions, 8 months, 2000 questions, 12 months, 3000 questions, 2 years, 6000 questions, right? In UPSC, how many questions you have in prelims? 100, out of that maybe around 30 to 35 current affairs questions. Now 35 questions out of 6000, if you do every day, what is the percentage? Maybe 0.02 or whatever it is, right? Don't you think that much probability is there of getting all current affair questions in prelims right? The key is consistency, right? You do it every day, do weekly revision, and what we do to get all India rank 1, this is the website actually, and people have got every year. Where is downloads? It's a download only. Yes. So this is, you don't need to buy any external material or anything. So we categorize all monthly question into topics like economy, ecology, right? So you have all economy questions that were asked in that month, right? So this is one. So if you want to just test your knowledge at the end of the month, after solving everyday questions, if you want to test your knowledge, you can download the only questions format and write the answers, and then we are giving question with solution for your reference. There are 2 PDFs, right? So monthly you can take the compilation and take printout, solve the questions. If you do every day and then solve once in a month, so your entire current affairs preparation for the prelims, right, is taken care. And also with each question and with each quiz compilation, you are going to learn lots of examples and facts which will enrich your mains answer writing, right? Some of the questions here, the content you get, if you start doing the secure answer writing practice, when you write a point, you have to validate, you have to substantiate it with examples. Many examples you are going to get here. And we give you secure compilation also, the model answers, right? So stick with the insights system, right? Offline world, you have real people, including me also. Weekly 3 to 4 days I am coming, evaluating essays and addressing the queries. You can come, and we have all the mentors, wonderful dedicated mentors. And then there are toppers, 2 IPS officers, Suraj and Srishti, yes. So one more rank 95, Srishti Sharma, and one more Madhu, rank 544. 3 UPSC toppers are going to sit here and evaluate your answers. And in addition to that, we have our own team of mentors, right? And online, you have these things on a daily practice. So the 2 hours which I mentioned, 1 hour reading the paper, half an hour, 10 questions you can do half an hour easily, right? to read and, to solve and read. If you just stay consistent and to do all of this, right, to have that focused 12 hours, you have to eliminate every kind of distraction from your life. In those 2 hour break, you watch your reels, right? Maybe you can watch full length movie also if you want. Or maybe you can watch a documentary. But my recommendation is that in those 2 hours, watch quality podcasts, right? So I was talking about hobbies and interest. One is reading, writing. Third one can be watching documentaries or watching quality podcasts, right?
We are not collections of atoms and molecules. We are, but that's not the right way to.
So this is one of my favorite YouTube channels, right? For example, inside the mind of a white collar criminal and the ego effect. One neuroscientist deep dive into perception and reality. For essay, it can be useful. You see the word reality and perception as repeated so many times in the UPSC essay, right? Why goodness still matters in a self-optimized world. So what is the self-optimized world? So individualism, we are so much self-centered, self-focused. So how can you be good in this world? The male inequality problem is getting worse, right? Some people are maybe in advanced countries. Why working class men are facing sharpest decline, right? So why risk takers win? So this is for you.
मुझे पता है सिर्फ 10 साल इन्वेस्ट
No, not this
करने
one.
पर तुझे मिल सकता है रिटायरमेंट पे 7 करोड़.
The river is my name for this community of like-minded people that I kept encountering over can be difficult and very high.
These are usually for only 5 minutes videos,
to both
right? No, don't watch this video.
success and a huge amount of failure. Because most time you think of somebody, oh, they're quantitative and analytical. You might think, oh, they're like.
So again, another my favorite guy is there here. So for example, future of AI, simulating reality. So he won the Nobel Prize in chemistry last year. So if you want to learn about artificial intelligence in the future, right, its implication for health, education, technology, everything, he is the person to go for. If you want to really, they are very deep, very informative. In every interaction, you will learn lots of concepts and everything. See, you can make the entire UPSC preparation enjoyable, right, engaging, right, and the things you learn will empower in such a way that also to take decisions, make decisions, right? And you know how the success happens. So all of you will not become IAS officers. I mean, realistically speaking, everyone sitting here will not become IAS officers. Some of you may become IRS, IPS, Audit and Account Service, some central, maybe DYSP, AC, some might get PSI and get settled. This will eventually happen, you will know that, right? But some of you may change the track also, eventually. So you may want to become a businessman. You may want to go to a foreign university. Or maybe you want to do course in IIM or IIT. Right? When you make such kind of choices in the future, you have to be ready. Right? In terms of your skills and knowledge, in terms of your perspectives, in terms of what is happening around the world. Then only this decision making can be worthwhile. The decision making will actually yield result for you, right? So that is why developing a quality hobbies and interest is extremely important. So those 2 hours which I said break, if you actually invest them in your hobbies and interest on a daily basis, you are completely comprehensively preparing for the UPSC examination as well as for the life also. You are not going to fail in any field, in any way. You will never be labeled as failure. So when I was preparing, we didn't have these kind of stuff on YouTube, right? And now it is mind boggling, when I see You might have heard the MIT, right? What is MIT? Huh? Manipal? No. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, right?
Now, there's a third example which is quite interesting, which is sometimes cartels can operate in the open and get away with it.
You can actually learn
Let's talk
anything
about
you want to
the
learn.
National Football League, the NFL. The NFL is the most important.
So MIT economist explains the something, I don't know. So economics, computer science, technology, MIT is world's topmost university. It's the number one university in the whole world. Their professors are teaching entire course free of cost on YouTube, right? MIT. To get admission into MIT is impossible, nearly, I mean, some of you may be brilliant, nearly impossible to go and study there. So when you develop interest, so when you read multiple newspapers, eventually what will happen? You will develop 2 to 3 interests. So you will develop so much interest in geopolitics. Now you don't have, eventually you will develop. You will develop interest in foreign policy. You will develop interest in all environment related issues, right? You will develop interest in space technology, right? So then you should visit these resources and deepen your knowledge, right? And when in the interview they ask a question, your answer is of this level, right? MIT level, Stanford, Harvard, everybody has put the free courses. You don't have to watch everything. Develop any 2 interests, right? One, reading about particular XYZ, space technology or material science or something. Another one, something maybe related to art and culture. In Netflix, don't watch movies, watch documentaries. There are documentaries related to war, history, geopolitics, wonderful documentaries, right? So something contrasting, something related to history, art and culture type, humanities. Another one, technology. So your preparation will be full circle. And interaction with mentors will help you develop interview skill also, group discussions. And another thing I would like to add is that when you are in Bangalore, don't be same the way you used to be in your village or town. Bangalore, every week there was a quantum summit some 3 weeks ago in Bangalore in Palace Ground. Quantum computing. So you should just go visit, spend 2 to 3 hours and come back. Listen to 1 or 2 seminar. You can visit Indian Institute of Science, right? There is something called India Exhibition Center near Yeshwanthpur. There. So you can go and Nobel laureates come. The world's literally Bangalore Lit Fest, Book Brahma Lit Fest, something like this. So you can, Banu Mushtaq will be speaking in front of you, free pass. You just go and listen, right? Some Nobel laureates, writers, they will be speaking. When you are in company with such kind of people, listening to them, right? The way you think will elevate to that level, right? The way you think, and you will slowly move away from all your daily problems. The small problems which irritate you, which bother you, you just ignore them. You'll totally ignore them because they're not important in your life anymore, right? When you are in a company of good people, when you develop good tastes, good hobbies and interest, you are in the company of the best minds, and this exam actually requires that kind of minds. The country requires that kind of minds because we are moving into a very uncertain future, right? The one who can face uncertainty, right, without getting, bogged down by the problem, without getting scared, right? So we need such kind of minds. So this is an opportunity, and inside IAS we encourage you to pursue all these things. I don't believe in rote learning. That is not going to help you at all, right? Anybody who relies only on ready-made materials, no, you are not going to crack this examination. Learn on the go, keep learning, keep updating, right? So the last section is about optionals. So now when it comes to optionals, political science, sociology, anthropology, Kannada, public administration, geography, These 6 are doing fine to the some extent. But again, we cannot conclusively say which optional does well, doesn't do well. But our observation experience says that if you want to go with optionals like, let's say, maths, law, medical science, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, these are professional technical courses, civil engineering, electrical and mechanical. If you want to go with these optionals, currently the preparation should have already been over for them. Getting my point? The preparation should have been over for the optionals. Now, you don't have to again prepare for these optionals. It is already done because you studied your law well in your law college, medical science well in your during MBBS or post graduation days, during BSc, MSc agri days. If you are already done with 80-90% of the syllabus, right? During your graduation days, you don't have to put any extra effort now. Go with that optional. Otherwise, if you have to take up that optional totally new, start giving, it takes minimum 5 to 6 hours for technical optionals like, physics, chemistry, maths every day, even after prelims, before prelims. You cannot leave 2 months, 3 months before prelims. After prelims, again, it is something new. All the time is the time you should have given to the things we discussed. GS, where you are currently 0, right? All the general awareness, GS papers. So if you take these optionals, your GS preparation, interview preparation is going to be totally derailed, negatively impacted, right? And second, you are not going to get guidance for these optionals anywhere, not even Delhi, not even Bangalore. You are on your own, right? Even if 10-20% of syllabus is something that you didn't study in graduation days, you have to spend enormous amount of time on them. So my suggestion is don't go with them. Third, the rationale why people go with them is one, you are already familiar. Second, they think they are scoring. No optional is getting above 290 anymore, right? All have come down. The trend I was talking about, 370, now 270, getting 270 is very big challenge in any optional, right? But it is more possible in the optionals I mentioned, the 6 optionals, right? Especially PSIR, sociology, anthro, literature, to some extent pub and geography. But other optionals, history, philosophy, never take, right? Psychology, again, only if you have studied during graduation days. Otherwise, don't go for it. Another, we actually, the people have written mains and come back. We tell them if you get 240 to 250 is enough. Earlier I was talking about, the way trend changed. So it was 1000 plus in the beginning in mains, and it came down to 950 odd, came down to 927. Now the highest marks any topper can score in mains is 863 last year. So it will be somewhere around again 850 to 860 this year also, because all essay topics have become subjective and more philosophical. The marks will again come down another 10 to 15 marks. So the overall highest score one can score is around 850 out of 1750. So among them around 240 to 250 should be optional, right? So another 600 marks from essay plus 4 GS papers, right? I mean, this is if you want to become all India rank 1. But if you want to just get a rank 740 plus, right? So out of 740, 240 something in optional, around 500 in GS plus essay paper, 100 average across all the 4 papers. Something with good preparation, one can actually score it. So now when you choose a wrong optional, you are going to waste minimum 4 years and also all your 6 attempts. Wrong optional will kill your UPSC aspiration, because majority people don't have this risk taking attitude. You don't want to change in the middle. Once you have invested lots of time, resources, everything into it, what happens? Even when you are scoring low, you will keep rationalizing, you will keep telling yourself that with some more investment of time and guidance, you will increase some marks. That actually doesn't happen in this UPSC, right? You don't have that risk-taking ability. So to change your optional mid-course, got it? So when you change, again you add another 2 years extra. So that is why be very careful. You people, those who are sitting here in the 8th batch, my suggestion, don't start optional preparation now, immediately, right? So focus on the GS because notifications are coming up. Next 6 months, do well in all the GS papers, Master, Polity, Economy, Geography. We will complete all core subjects by February, March for all of you. Don't worry about it. We'll start with small subjects. Eventually, we'll cover every core subject for all of you before February and March. Keeping a thought in mind that you should be able to crack prelims also. Right. Now, if you add optional, this preparation will be not so adequate. Right. You will merely listen, but you won't be able to, practice enough. From March onwards, you enroll for optional subject. Till then, don't enroll anywhere, here or anywhere, because you have this FOMO, fear of missing out. When everyone is taking optional, then you also want to take optional. So when you add optional, 6 hours plus 3 hours in the classroom, and you have only 3 hours left for yourself. Revision will not happen for all the 3. Optional, everything, right? In 3 hours, you have to read current affairs. Current affairs is constant in your preparation. And there is a question, people have mind, should I go for YouTube videos or, ready-made? Absolutely no. If you have been reading the Hindu for 3 to 4 years, then you go for ready-made material. Direct YouTube or direct compilation, right? If you have never studied paper like the Hindu or Indian Express in your entire life, you must read the hard copy, even if it takes 3 to 4 hours. For you, sometimes it will take in the beginning 3 to 4 hours. Don't get scared, right? It's okay. Continue. Keep continuing. Again, the time will come down to 1 hour. After 6 months or 8 months, you will figure out what to eliminate and what to study, because once you understand the syllabus in depth, you will. And for all of you, we are going to have special sessions like regarding optional, regarding how to read newspaper, how to make notes, right? Just separate regular sessions on prelims, how to improve your intelligent guessing skills, elimination skills, all those things. Answer writing sessions are going to be there, and essay writing session. In the very first month, you will also be taught how to start writing essay. So, whatever amount you have paid, you are going to get 10 times more than that in the very beginning, right? So, you are in a right place, a right city. Bangalore is very conducive, very safe city, right? In all aspects. And it's a very vibrant cultural city and technological city also. So there are so much to learn from the city, and opportunities keep opening up even for you to do part-time job in case if you need it. And my suggestion, those who want to go back home, right? They go back home because food problem, health problem. I understand new city, you will definitely face new challenges, but it is mainly because of the stress, right? So if you enjoy, if you are strong within, and if you just go with the flow, you will not face any health issues. The food is same for everyone, right? The food is same for everyone. So some people say it is not, getting adjusted and something and all. It's mainly about the stress. Secondly, you have to become resilient. You have to become really stubborn and strong and, very, very resilient. Right. So keep inviting problems. Not by creating problem and creating troubles. Whatever challenges you face, just face them. And any issue, any problem you face, you come and talk to us. Any teacher, mentor, support staff, myself, any problem, you can come and talk to us, because we have the kind of network here, right? From Bangalore police commissioner to the local Chandra layout inspector, police, everyone, all the departments. Luckily, in this field, our students are there in every department, everywhere, in every part of India. So, any issue you face, just come and talk to us. Earlier, I used to talk about one issue. I had stopped talking about that issue in last few months because this is something that is not none of my business. Falling into relationship and all these things, right? Avoid, right? So, ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. The reason you are here is to, right? ಲಬಸ್ನ ಹೋಗಿ ಫುಲ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೀ ಪಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ. ಹುಡುಗರು ಕನ್ಸು ಕಾಣ್ತಾವ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋ ತನಕ, ರೈಟ್? ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರೈಂಟ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ರೇಕಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್. ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ಟ್ರಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಟ್ರಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟು, ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್, ಬಿಕಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್, ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸಮನ್ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ ಆಗೋದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್, ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಓಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಏನೇನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ನ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ನೋ. ನಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಮ್ದು ಡ್ರೀಮ್, ನಮ್ದು ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ಯಾವುದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇ ಅವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆಮ್. ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂಟ್, ರೈಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಎನಿ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ IAS once again. I think you had great amount of guidance today. So ಯಾಕೆ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಾ? ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಸುಟ್ಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಈಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ವಿಶ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್, ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಲಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಜರ್ನಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಎಕ್ಸೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಇದು. ದ ವೇ I prepared was like this. Never worried about preparation. ಬೋರ್ ಆದಾಗ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಗಝಿನ್ಸು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮೂವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ IMDb ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಏನದು? ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮೂವಿ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? IMDb ಅಂತಂದು 2007-8 ಹಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು, ಈ ಟಾರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಂಗೆ ಅದು, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು IMDb ಟಾಪ್ 250 ಮೂವೀಸ್, ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ 250 ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೇಜಾರಾದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಐ ವಾಚ್ ಆಲ್ IMDb ಟಾಪ್ 250. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆದದನ್ನು ಈಗಲೂ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಐ ವಾಚ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೀಕ್ ನೋ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಐ ವಾಚ್ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್, ರೀಡ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್, ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಕೀಪ್ಸ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇನ್, ಕಾಮ್, ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್, ಕೀಪ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ವಿದೌಟ್ afraid of anyone, because you understand the life, from larger perspective, that life is always is giving. Life is full of possibilities. Life is full of opportunities. This realization will only happen when you keep an open mind and constantly learn. Okay, all the best. Thank you. ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಕಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್. OGP ಶುರು ಆದಾಗಿಂದನೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಚರ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಚಿಗೂ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್. ಮುಂಚೆ ಕ್ಯಾಡ್ಬರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಈಗ ಕಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್. ಕಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಿಂದ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಓರಿಯಂಟೇಷನ್ ನೋಡಿಲ್ವ ಯಾರು? ಕಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಿಂದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ UPSC ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಾರಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕುಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಬೇಡ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, UPSC asked questions with Kit Kat. ಗಂಡಿ ಕೋಟ ಕೆನೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ now and then they put some pictures, places, interesting places and all. Coincidence ಅದು. ನೀವು ಹಂಗಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಡೈಲಿ ಕಿಟ್ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಡ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ? So it's just a coincidence. Okay, KitKat has nothing to do with this. The questions they have asked were like NCERT level, basic questions that are there in 5th, 6th, 7th, history, geography, NCERT books. So ನೀವು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಕವರಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದನೂ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ವಿಶ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಇವನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಓದ್ತಾ UPSC ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ? ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿ ಕಡೆ. ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಯ್ತದ 12 hours. ಓಕೆ, ಏನು ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟು? ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ಇರ್ತೀಯ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ? 10 hours. ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ 5 ಗಂಟೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ಕ್ಲಾಸು? ಓಕೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳೋದು? ನೀವು ಬಂಕ್ ಕೊಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ನಾನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟು, ನಾನು ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇದೀರಿ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದು. ದಿಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್. ಬಟ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ಟೇಕ್ 1 subject at a time, not 2 subjects. ನಿಮಗೆ 2 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಡೀತಲ್ವಾ? ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಪೊಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ 3 hours ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಈಗ 2.5 hours ಇದೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಡೂ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 4 to 5 hours ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ. ದೆನ್ ಗಿವ್ ದಿ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಅದು ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಬಂದು ಅನದರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಟೇಕ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ 1 class at a time ಟಿಲ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ August, September ತನಕ ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅದು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ 1 class, ದೆನ್ ಇವೆಂಚುಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ 2 classes, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ದಿ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವನ್ ದೆನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ 2027 ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ದಿ GS ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದು ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್. ಅದು ಇಫ್ ದಟ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೀಕ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್, ಬಟ್ 6 hours ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಕೊಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಸೊ 1 to 2 hours ಫಾರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ 4 hours ಫಾರ್ ದಿ GS. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.